Hello, guys. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this webinar. This is it's going to be for the Dubai Police Challenges. I'm Abdullah here from Dubai Future Foundation. I have my colleague Karian, Wichi, and Gloria from Dubai Future Foundation, and of course here we have First Lieutenant Mohammed Aman from Dubai Police. He will be here to, well, when we dive deep into the actual Dubai Police challenges, what they're looking for, how it's like to work with Dubai Police, and he will obviously try as best as possible to shed light on how the process actually works. From my end, I would like to give you a very brief overview, introduction into Dubai Future Accelerators, what the program is all about, and ultimately what we hope to achieve at the end of this program. Oh, I see some more people are joining. That's awesome. That's great. So I hope that it's okay with you guys, but this webinar will be recorded, and it'll obviously help us get the process better as we're learning as we go. All right. So Dubai Future Accelerators is an accelerator first of its kind. It's an initiative by the Dubai Future Foundation, our mother organization. The Dubai Future Accelerators is an accelerator like any other, obviously accelerates the startups and technologies, but unlike any other, really pits those who really dare to dream and push the boundaries in the realms of innovation with the highest level of government. So we are looking for those who are able to disrupt the industries with their technologies, who at least must have a minimum viable product or a proof of concept. We bring them over here. We pay for their accommodation. We pay for the flight tickets. We get them here to work in our state-of-the-art space with the top level of government from the Dubai government in order to really make the future today. One thing that we constantly live by, and we live our mottos, and what really gets us out of bed every single day in the morning, is His Highness's statement, which says that the future belongs to those who can imagine it, design it, and execute it. The executed part is what this program is focusing on. So, we have dreamers, we have people who, come up with ideas that are going to change the world, but really, how does this look like in terms of a pilot? We all dream of flying taxis and flying cars and full-on autonomous mobility, but what does this look like really on the ground in terms of regulations, in terms of actually making this possible? So Dubai Future Accelerators, as you can see here, is primarily the kind of the kitchen that brings up the startups, the scale-ups, the most innovative technologies from around the world, which is you guys. We put them here, we put them with the top level of government entities and private organizations here in Dubai. And then we ultimately try to create this super collider that we try to get everyone working together from different technologies, from different industries, come together to kind of look at a holistic approach to solving challenges that obviously the city of Dubai faces, but also things that we around the world are going to face on a daily basis. So again, selected participants or selected applicants will be invited to a 9-week program. It's an in-residence program, which means so we pay for your for the flights and accommodation for you and up to 3 members of your team. We do advise that these are senior decision-making members of your team to ensure that, of course, the process here is very smooth, because you never know who you're meeting or who you might meet at any given point in time. Actually the area of accommodation is it's very conveniently located. It's close to the Emirates Towers. Emirates Towers is the kind of the heart of all that surrounds innovation here in Dubai. It's actually a 10 to 15 minute walk from the I think it's very conveniently located. The thing that we get asked the most is, we as an accelerator, as a program, we do not take any equity. We are facilitators, of course, acting in the name of the government of Dubai. We are government of Dubai. We, of course, we're not saying that no equity will ever be taken, but if you come with a core technology, particularly something that you've developed, some deep technology, and then that's 50%, and then you come and you collide with the entity that you're supposed to work with, and they have that other 50%, then the conversation might arise of how you might proceed in terms of joint venture, client-vendor relation, or even just a complete partnership. The world, so we really are making Dubai a living testbed and piloting these for the first time. So what happens during the cohort in Dubai? Ultimately, we are giving you the chance to either prove or disprove your hypothesis. If you think that your technology and your startup has what it takes to solve any of these challenges that are mentioned, and in your case, for example, for Dubai Police, then we invite you to come here for 9 weeks to really work hand in hand with the future teams. So with my colleague Mohammed here from Dubai Police, you'll be working with him over 9 weeks. And the whole point would be to develop or to come to the point where you can sign a memorandum of understanding and ultimately a pilot agreement where the entity, the government entity, will, of course, case by case, it depends, but will ultimately fund your pilot project to either prove or disprove whether your technology really is the right solution for the mentioned challenges. Of course, we have a lot of cool stuff that happened during the program. So we got all sorts of workshops, teaching you how to set up in the UAE, teaching you all about the laws, the regulations, the business culture. We do have certain branding workshops. We give you access to a lot of our network of our mentors who come in here and are very actively involved. They're either investors or very successful entrepreneurs who've done incredible exits. So it's really, you are coming to a place that is at the very verge, and many people accurately describe it as the Silicon Valley in the 70s, in the 80s. So it's a very, very exciting time, definitely, to be here and to be part of our ecosystem. Now, of course, you do come in here to work with the government entities. However, what we've seen sometimes as a byproduct of structured chaos, which is innovation, is that you'll ultimately end up working with a Fortune 500 company that you would have never thought that you would meet at this particular point in time in your startup. You end up working with them and developing a full-scale solution that will be a dream for your startup, and all sorts of things. You might meet another startup that is working on another technology that will be a perfect complement to what you're doing, and ultimately you come together and you create something that is larger than the sum of the parts. All things go. So this is really, it's a very intensive 9-week program, and if you come with the right attitude, which is to really co-create with the decision makers here in Dubai, this is the right place for you. So back when I mentioned our co-working space, it's called Area 2071, is located in the Emirates Towers. This is actually the office of the Prime Minister. We have around 3 to 4 ministries in the building. So it's really the heart of a lot of our government here in the UAE resides in this particular building. We also have around 6 embassies. So it's really an incredible hub for you to be a part of. And being a part of this ecosystem, these are some of the partners that we have with us. So again, what we're trying to do is we're trying to create this wonderful triangle between the disruptors, the innovators, scale-ups, startups, with the top level of government, decision makers, the regulators, with the Fortune 500 companies that really have the reach and corporate power. We believe that these 3 players are what makes or breaks an ecosystem, especially if we are ultimately attempting to export futurism as a product from Dubai to the rest of the world. Remember, this is His Highness's vision is for Dubai to be a living testbed. So all the things which have not been tested, have not been regulated, have not been done before we do them in 30 years. Our point is to do them right now. Fail quick, learn fast. That's kind of our motto. So the last thing before I hand over to my colleague Mohammed from Dubai Police, where you'll be able to obviously ask some questions. It's called Area 2071 because in 2071 the UAE will be 100 years old. And this is our centennial vision that when we are 100 years old, we want to be the best at everything at any given time. So we are trying, His Highness's vision is to, move Dubai's legacy from being a wonderful place with the hotels and the malls and the lavish lifestyle to somewhere that's actually a living testbed that will undertake, the stress tests of innovation on behalf of the rest of the world. This is pretty much it from my end as far as Dubai Future Foundation is involved. I'll give you over to my colleague Mohammed, and my colleague Mohammed will give you a little bit of an overview, of course, about Dubai Police, the new vision, the new strategy. I mean, what's Dubai Police currently all about right now?
Thank you so much, Abdullah, for talking about the Dubai Future Foundation. And we're lucky to actually work with the Dubai Future Foundation and actually meet these new startup companies. And I will talk about Dubai Police. Our vision is actually to police pioneering for a safe city. And our current mission, rightly, is to have a safe and a secure city for Dubai. And therefore, we planted 4 challenges in this cohort that would like the startup companies to actually help us find innovative ideas, productive ideas, and solutions that we can actually use in this cohort. The first challenge is going to be the shoreline security. We're looking for intelligent, advanced drone technologies that actually help us in shoreline security. We're looking for new innovative products. We're looking for something new to make us actually pioneer and to be the #1 actually in security. That's what we're really looking for. And what we are looking for is, just bear in mind that I want to mention that some of the products will be customized to Dubai Police details. So I just want to give a heads up from the beginning, so we won't have any consequences after all. And skip to the challenge #2 is the airport security. We're looking for the latest cutting-edge AI technologies also to help us increase security and streamline management process. This would be to provide us the security, or actually, you know, that we have one of the biggest airports in Dubai, and the UAE actually, and we want to provide the maximum security we can, the latest technology, something that we can actually we can be proud of actually using in this cohort, come up with something new and innovative, and actually it could help us in efficiency also. We want something to be efficient, not only just innovative, we want it to be also efficient. And skip to challenge #3, we'll be talking about report analysis. Okay, here is one of the challenges that I really want to go deep into, are to have a program powered by analytics, AI analytics, and can be used to identify and analyze large volumes of research papers and produce it as like a report, a brief report in the end. So we really need these reports to actually help us get through new innovative ideas, new trends that are actually happening around the world, and would really look really happy to find a company that can actually help us with this challenge.
Okay, guys. So I think one of the slides is not showing too clearly over here. Yeah. So just to run you through basically how the selection process would work. You have, of course, once you apply to the challenge, you'll be directed to our platform. And our platform is, you would set up, register as a new user, set up your company profile, and then you will apply obviously the challenge which you selected or you feel like you will have the best chance of solving. At that point, you will enter our evaluation process. You will be evaluated essentially by a team of experts, a pool of experts who have expertise in all sorts of technologies, blockchain, IoT, AI, machine learning, big data. And ultimately, those guys will evaluate your application, those who they think need, or pass the initial criteria, which are essentially your degree of innovation, how innovative is your technology, the fit to the actual challenge, and of course the background of the team. How what have they done before? What have they been involved in? These are the initial written evaluation criteria. At that point, if it passes these 3 initial stage, it will go on to the first interview stage. So you will be invited to have an interview with a member of the Dubai Future Foundation accelerators team, the DFA team. Ultimately, they'll gauge, or they're really trying to dig into how innovative your technology is, and really they'll be looking at the attitude in which you're coming to come and work here with the government entity. Again, the co-creation attitude is what the team is going to look for the most. After that, those who pass this stage will then move on to the entity interview. So the interview will be with my colleague here, First Lieutenant Mohammed, and the experts that he brings on board from Dubai Police. So for example, I would say, Mohammed, like for example, for the shoreline security, you might bring in CID, right?
Yes.
The Criminal Investigation Department, since they deal with a lot of the airport security.
Yes.
So he will be in charge of bringing in the relevant stakeholders within Dubai Police to help you with this process. And then ultimately, we will then come back to the drawing board. We will see who they selected from their end, and then we will make the final selection. Those are the participants which will then be invited to become a part of our program. Okay, perfect. So I think we've went through the majority. I think now it's time for your questions. I think the best way would be to, if you type your questions onto the chat, and then we can ultimately answer based on that. So please feel free to type in your questions right now. Yeah, typing your name, and then you can ask the question itself. Let me open the chat. Okay, perfect. So first question is, yes, from Almas. Can you give us more details on challenge number 3? So report analysis.
Yes. So regarding the report analysis, okay, let me give you an example. Right nowadays we have a lot of trends, and we have a lot of information going to be on the internet. So we need a program that actually can find, for example, I would type, I want the latest AI programs in camera detection. So I'd like this program to actually get me the best research papers that talk about this topic and give it in a brief report. That's one of the major programs that we're looking for as a data analytics program.
Cool. So that's the main component that you're searching for. Okay, cool. I hope that answered the question, Almas, but feel free to ask if there's anything that was unclear. Moving on to Paul Warren. So you're okay. So that's the info term, Paul. Yeah. So what regarding actual what's research reports are referring to? Okay. So I believe Mohammed mentioned that. And what? So can you clarify your question? What do you mean? Like, what are you trying to get in as an output and report? So basically, what's the end result that you're looking for?
Yeah.
Can I just speak or should I type?
Couldn't hear you. I think it.
It was my question. I'm happy to clarify.
Yes, please. Yeah.
So generally, like when we're looking at a natural language generation or coming to some sort of output report, we're looking at input data that could be coming from a number of sources, but here it looks like maybe academic research or something like this. And ultimately what you want is some sort of GUI or output report that answers a couple of questions, maybe risk scores around like a certain kind of behavior or a certain kind of crime we're trying to change. For example, predictive policing has been used to reduce property crimes based on past crime data. So it's the question you're trying to answer is very specific to the kind of reports you're trying to generate.
Yes, that's actually what we're looking for. Yeah.
So, so was that with clarification enough for your question, Paul?
Maybe it's a process of speaking more with the police around, what specific crimes we're trying to reduce. And that could be farther down the line. But if it's simply at this point, hey, we're looking for reports that can come out of this kind of data, of course, it can be customized to many different degrees.
Yeah, the data will be actually in general. So the reports will be talking about general data. So it doesn't have to be specifically about drones. It doesn't have to be specifically about crime rates. It would be actually general. So we can't specify exactly what field we're looking for. But we want it to be open and general to every speculation we might actually look for.
I think it's very much a case of let's dump in everything from one end and then see what the machines come up with the other end. So kind of like we want to ultimately they want to see if the machine learning can crunch all this data and create something meaningful out of it. So it can be, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, Brother Muhammad, but like traffic violations maybe. It could be like reports on incidents. It could be it could be of all sorts, but it's kind of crunched into one end. And we really want to see how we can use machine learning to
with data with the summary of the data that we can actually use as something concrete in our research papers.
And who would this be working with directly in Dubai Police? So is there like a cyber crimes unit or?
We have the cybercrime unit. We have also the Future for and Decision Center.
Yeah.
We have also we have the Department of Forensics.
Okay.
Who are really interested in the new forensic fields. So yeah, we have a couple of the general departments who are really interested in these programs.
Cool. Thank you for that. And thanks for the clarification, Paul. I think we have one question from Infiltron Software Suite. The Infiltron team asking, so what kind of technologies are we looking in around facial recognition and biometrics? Is there something specific?
Okay, we're actually working on a project right now, which has already facial recognition and biometrics. And however, I want to be clear with you, some of them aren't accurate. So the more accurate it can be, the more concrete the project will be, and the more we're happy to be working with you guys. So we want something that could be concrete, something we can actually rely on. We don't want something that actually give us just numbers, which in the end we know it has a lot of faults and give us the wrong decisions in the end.
Cool. And I think so. And we went through Paul's question, and then so again, the question from Misha is about the airport security. So this is one of the questions that I found even when I was we were at the Web Summit. We found a lot of the questions that go on are saying, are you looking for behavior analytics? Are you looking for robots that can act as security guards in the airport? What exactly?
Okay, in airport security, let me talk. I'll give you one of the major problems. Like having local drones disturbance. Well, this is one of the major problems we're actually having, and we want a solution for these problems. Because if there is a drone flying around beside a near airport, that would actually cause
shuts down the airport.
Yes, exactly. So, can you provide us a solution with these drones, the ones that don't have a GPS on them? So actually, these things that we're really actually looking for, because until now there is no answer for these problems that we're facing, and we're actually looking for startups that can provide us the solution.
To kind of like drop drones where they are.
Yes, they could detect drones whenever there is a drone flying somewhere that unrestricted the area. It will give us like a detection alarm or some like a new alarm to the early warning system could help us to detect these devices.
I think the current system I saw in Dubai Police regarding this is that you shoot some sort of net on these drones, which is kind of like a little old-fashioned. Maybe the new one would be to electromagnetic pulse or something.
I recommend that. And like I said, there is one issue that some drones are made locally, so they don't have GPS system on them, so they can be detected. Mm-hmm. So detecting these drones, if you can provide us a program that can actually detect these drones, would really be really useful in our organization.
Yeah,
it could be around the airport parameter. It could be inside it could be coming to the airport parameter.
So you want to geofence it. You want to geofence that area to some. So then we have information saying that jamming the drone signals works. That's probably what you're looking for.
Yes, that would actually work. And we're also looking for new systems that could be implemented in the Dubai airport. For example, we could have, like Abdullah mentioned, we could have new robots that can assist people in the airport, new arrivals, deportation. They can help them with the system. If they have any help with the police, they can access with these robots to actually make new services provided by these robots. So yeah.
That's great. And Misha, to go to your question is, so ultimately, if we want to streamline everything. So if you just do it through the platform, is the best way for your application, your demo to be shown, just so that we can streamline everything. No, it's great to hear that Infiltron, you've been working with Atlanta's police, that we're working with an IoT. I think if working with any police agency might be a plus, right, for you guys in the selection process. If they've worked with a police agency, it's usually as a plus.
Yes, it will be a plus, and we'll be more happy to work with them. And answering your last question, with 5 technology, it's still not implemented. They're still working on the infrastructure. So that would be kind of to the probably next 2 years to be implemented in the next 2 years. So we're happy to work with companies that have been working with other police entities all around the world. And but that doesn't mean that we don't actually accept new startup companies. We want to give them the chance to come and give us their new innovative ideas, because you never know. Sometimes these new ideas might be the solution we're looking for. So we're happy to meet you all, guys. And if you have any more questions, we're happy to answer them.
So we'll definitely. I think I have one last question. Yeah, one question I've been hearing quite a bit from your experience.
Yes.
How could working with Dubai Police look like for these startups? Is it usually going to be? Is it most likely going to be a client-vendor relation? Is it going to be that you're looking for someone with complete deep technology that you're going to invest in developing that technology, or is it kind of case-by-case basis?
It's actually all of them, all the above.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a mixed procedure, because it depends on the actual product that we're actually gonna buy from the startup companies. And to be clear, that Dubai Police is really flexible with all the startup companies and even the big entities. So we would give them the free and openness to actually give us the best product they can provide. And like I mentioned before, that there might be customization in these products for the security reasons. That's
right. Yeah, that's a great question, Paul. And I think to follow up on that, I think it might be worth connecting you perhaps together via email, maybe looking at a chain. Maybe they can have these questions ask you, particularly, these kind of questions that, you would have more insight on.
Sure.
But for the main, for the purpose, of this webinar and everyone currently involved, is there any kind of general question that you might have about the program, about how the 9 weeks might usually look like, about, we touched upon about how working with Dubai Police, but anything about the challenges in particular while we have Lieutenant Mohammed here to shed some light, that would be helpful for everyone. Otherwise, there's definitely an offline channel. There's going to be an email, which is in the next page. I will move over so you guys can, oops, this is doing all sorts of, yeah. So there's an email, guys, cohort@DubaiFutureAccelerators.com. So guys, you can take a screenshot of this email right here, or record it down for all questions relating to the cohort, relating to whatever. Obviously, it would be helpful that you mention your name, you mention which webinar you were a part of, and all sorts of questions, and the team will happily direct your questions. If they're program related, then the team will take it forward, but if it's more with our partner entities, then they'll definitely pass it on to the likes of Mohammed, to the future team members. Okay, we have IoT. So this the Infiltron is has UE deployed IoT. Dubai Police has been deployed any IoT devices already?
Can you be more specific, please? IoT sensor for the police? Actually, no, because in the end, IoT would need also the 5G network.
Right.
Yes, and we still don't have that employed in Dubai right now.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay, and then, okay, perfect, thank you. And then regarding the question about the digital reports and surveillance cameras, I think we mentioned this earlier. We're talking about, yes, we are looking for, all sorts of things that might help, even things that are particularly not necessarily used for this purpose, but can be used for this purpose. Sometimes these are the best solutions. So keeping an open mind about, the match between the technology and the challenge is ultimately what we are after. And this is an exploration, right?
Yes.
We're here to explore. We know that out of every 10 things that you do, 9 things are going to fail. So, to have this as a government entity, with this mentality, I believe this is the refreshing element. And yeah, we're here to try what works and what doesn't work.
We're here for open and new innovative ideas. With open arms, we're happy to have these ideas and implement them in our organization.
Perfect. And yes, so guys, I will just highlight this right here. I don't know if it's highlighting. Oh, I guess not. Let's see. That's the email right here. cohort@DubaiFutureAccelerators.com. Just any questions regarding the program. If you couldn't make it in time, the team will definitely it's very responsive and will help you, will guide you through that. Best of luck, guys. I hope this was informative. An application deadline. Thank you very much. I almost forgot about that. The application deadline is 11:59 Dubai time, 11:59 p.m. on the 17th of November. So make sure that you get your applications in time. Check out our website, DubaiFutureAccelerators.com. You'll look at the challenges. See, I mean, right now you're interested obviously in the Dubai Police challenges. Once you click on the apply button, it's going to divert you to our platform where you can register your profile. You only have to do this once, and then we'll have a profile for your company, and then you can go through the application procedure. Yes, and the webinar will be on YouTube tomorrow. It will be published. So for all those who have not been, if you have team members who could not make it in time, people who you felt should have been here but wouldn't, will definitely be on YouTube, and the link will be posted on social media. So the same link that you used to come here, the same link will dial directly to the YouTube link. Perfect. Thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure. Shukran. Best of luck. Thank you very much, Mohammed.
Thank you.
We have Karen and Richie here in the background. They've been doing an incredible job to really get you guys here. And once you come here, you'll really see how much of an incredible team it is all around. Everyone's happy to innovate.
Yes, we're excited.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.